Many people say that the war does not have a female face, but during the Second World War, about 1 million women served on the fronts. Their entry into the battlefield meant only one thing: the existence of the world was in mortal danger. In the war, women were nurses, snipers, pilots, and even tankers. Many of them were awarded high military awards. Often the girls were captured, and the German soldiers, seeing their enemies for the first time, were greatly surprised. The Germans, who were used to the fact that the lot of women is the kitchen, children, and the church, were shocked. How do these weak creatures cope with men's work? I'll tell you about one of these girls. Before you continue watching, please subscribe to my channel and like it. Of course, this is optional, the main thing is to be sincere. Tatiana Baramzina is one of those rare personalities whose life and exploits cause admiration and awe. This woman became a legend thanks to her indomitable fortitude and courage in the battles with the fascist invaders during the Second World War. As a sniper, she distinguished herself with her skill and courage, but her fate was terrible. She was caught by the enemy, she was bullied, and then brutally executed. Tatiana Baramzina was born in Glazov, where she spent her childhood as the youngest of 5 siblings in a large family. Her father worked as a railroad worker, while her mother ran the household. As a child, Tatiana was known for her physical strength, especially her swimming abilities. In 1935, Tatiana graduated from the local 8th grade school. Subsequently, she worked as a geography teacher. In July 1939, she graduated from the Pedagogical College as an external student. In the following year she entered the geographical faculty of the Molotov Pedagogical Institute. However, due to financial difficulties in February 1941, she was forced to leave the institute and began working as a kindergarten teacher. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union, Tatiana decided to enroll in a 6-month evening nursing course. Later she also graduated with honors from a 6-month sniper course. The girl ended up in the army in June 1943. Tatiana's fellow soldier Alexander Ilyich Solomatin, who served as a supply platoon commander at that time, recalled, "In April 1943, a new sniper appeared in our battalion, a girl. Short, smiling. It was Tanya Baramzina. We fell in love with her right away, for being demanding of ourselves and our comrades. It so happened that she would scold the cook for tasteless borscht or porridge, and so shame a sloppy soldier that he would forever remember the case of a dirty tunic or a torn button." In March 1944, Tatiana Baramzina improved her military skills by graduating from the main women's sniper training school and was sent to the Western Front as part of a group of 200 female snipers. By the end of May, the girl's personal account had already reached 16 killed German soldiers. But suddenly her eyesight began to deteriorate. The constant severe eye strain and a cold recently suffered in the trenches affected. The doctors offered Corporal Tatiana Baramzina to be demobilized for health reasons, but she did not want to leave her combat friends. On July 5, 1944, in the area of the village of Pekalin during a fierce battle, having the opportunity to retreat with other fighters, the girl remained in the dugout of the medical battalion with the wounded. She defended herself from the advancing Nazis with a machine gun and grenades. However, the Nazis managed to throw grenades into the dugout and broke into the medical unit. After shooting the wounded survivors, they pulled Tatiana Baramzina out of the dugout. A 24-year-old girl has been bullied for a long time. Tatiana was raped by Nazi soldiers and was executed in a cruel way. An anti-tank gun was fired at her. It is not known why the Nazis decided to commit such a crime against a sniper girl. She could hardly hide any secret information. Most likely, the German soldiers wanted to take out their anger on a defenseless girl. A few hours later, Soviet soldiers were able to recapture this stronghold. A terrible sight awaited them near the dugout of the medical battalion. They saw what the Nazis did to Tatiana Baramzina. It was possible to recognize the girl only by her hair. Around her lay the corpses of enemies and the bodies of the wounded, finished off by the Nazis. It's hard to admit, but such crimes were a frequent occurrence during the Second World War. The writer Oleg Kazarinoff cited in his book an excerpt from a letter addressed to a German lieutenant by his friend Abalt. It was much easier in Paris. Do you remember those good days? The Russians' women turned out to be devils, now I have to tie them up. At first I liked this fuss, but now that I'm all bitten and scratched, I do it easier, I put the gun at my head. Recently, a Russian girl blew up Lieutenant Gross with a grenade. Now, first of all, we strip them and search them, and then they disappear without a trace. Even German soldiers sometimes couldn't stand the crimes they committed. Soldier Heinz Müller wrote to his wife, "Herta, dear and dear, I am writing you my last letter. You won't get anything else from me. I curse the day I was born German. I am shocked by the pictures of the life of our army on the Eastern Front. Debauchery, robbery, violence, murder, murder and murder. Old men and women were exterminated. They killed just like that. And there are many such documented evidences of Nazi atrocities." Tatiana Nikolaevna Baramzina was buried with all honors at the Kalma station, and in 1963 her remains were transferred to a mass grave in the village of Kalita. On March 24, 1945, she was awarded the title of Hero of the Soviet Union posthumously. Her award list says that during her last fight, she defeated 20 Nazis. Summing up, I want to remind many that women played a big and important role during the Second World War, both at the front and in the rear. In many countries, women were engaged in the production of weapons, food, and medical equipment. Women worked in hospitals and sanitary units, were involved in intelligence operations, worked in the departments of encryption and interception of messages. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and like it. See you soon.